Michelle and I were completely enchanted with our visit to Munich. And the highlights for me was a jewel-encrusted skeleton and a super creepy church. Going to Munich was a spontaneous decision for us because we found some good deals on business class tickets leaving Charlotte. After a sleepless red-eye from Phoenix, sleeping in business class sounded fantastic. We landed in Munich at 6:30 a.m. and we were well rested and ready to explore. Just a quick word of advice to my future self: never order an omelet on an airplane. Eggs on an airplane is never a good idea, whether you're in business class or not. Just go with the fruit and yogurt. Munich was founded in 1158 as a trading post, and it evolved into a medieval town surrounded by a large defensive wall and moat. Despite facing numerous challenges like fires, plagues, and wars, Munich still continued to grow and prosper. It was an hour-long train ride from the airport to Marienplatz. Marienplatz is a town square that has held historical significance in Munich over the centuries. Over the years, Marienplatz has witnessed everything from royal celebrations, public executions, to political rallies. Shortly after arriving in our train stop in Munich, I was completely blown away. As we went up the stairs from the modern underground subway station, the architecture transformed from the modern world of the subway to medieval, Baroque, and Renaissance facades, complete with elaborate spires and gargoyles. I was completely enchanted by this transformation from modernity to the old world. After a delicious breakfast at the Rischart Cafe, we wandered around the square and just took in the sights. We made our way to the Glockenspiel in the square for an 11 a.m. enactment of two stories from Munich's history in the 16th century. The top half of the Glockenspiel tells the story of the marriage of the local Duke, Wilhelm, to Renata of Lorraine. In honor of the happy couple, there's a joust with life-size knights on horseback representing Bavaria and Lothringen. The Bavarian knight wins. This is followed by a second story, which plays out in the bottom half of the clock, and the Coopers are said to have danced through the streets, encouraging residents to leave their homes again after being frightened by the plague. Next, we went to the historic beer hall, Hofbräuhaus, for some lunch and some beer. Founded in 1589, it's one of Munich's oldest beer halls. Its walls have witnessed a lot of history over the centuries. A well-known German politician gained support for his party by giving fiery speeches at this beer hall, and a lot of others like it around Germany. Eventually, Adolf Hitler was elected chancellor, and the Nazi Party had a firm grip on German politics. And we all know what happened next. After relaxing at the hotel for a while, we walked to the Odeonplatz, where I admired the unique Baroque facade of the Theatine Church, completed in 1690, and I also enjoyed seeing the Federnhall, which was commissioned in 1841 to honor the Bavarian army. However, it's more famously known as the site of Hitler's failed coup attempt in 1923. On day 2 of our Munich visit, we explored the St. Peter's Church, which was built with a Baroque style in 1368. Now, I've visited countless churches and cathedrals in Europe, but this one is special. It has an artifact that I find absolutely fascinating, and I haven't seen anything like it before. Located in a glass case is the skeleton of Munditia. She's covered in gemstones and gold, complete with glass eyes looking up in her skull. She was transferred to St. Peter's in 1675 from Rome, and it's believed that she was beheaded by a hatchet and thus martyred in 310 Classic era. After that, I climbed the 306 steps up the tower in St. Peter's. From the top of the tower, I had a beautiful view of Munich's old town. And from high up, it's easier to see the spires of Frauenkirche, the same spires that stand out in the 1572 painting of Munich. I've seen many cathedrals and churches in Europe, but the Assam Church, completed in 1746, is incredibly unique. On the inside of the church, it's incredibly ornate in design and has a distinctively different feel. It uses marble and gold with backlit areas, and there's a unique mural of heaven on the ceiling that held my gaze as well. Honestly, this place felt creepy and otherworldly, and I can't even think of any other way to describe how it made me feel. Whenever I'm in a city that was originally surrounded by a defensive wall, I like to go see the remnants. There's several gates left from the old wall in Munich, so we checked out the Sendlinger Gate. I really love imagining what the city looked like and felt like during the Dark Ages. We took a different route back to Marienplatz and enjoyed different scenes that we encountered on the way. After having a leisurely dinner, we went to the Neusrath house to see the stained glass windows that were backlit from the inside. Afterwards, we wandered the city for a bit more before going back to our hotel. We thoroughly enjoyed our time in Munich, and we're delighted by how much there is to do there. There once was a time in my life that I would have loved to go to Munich for Octoberfest, but at this point in my life, my tolerance for stifling crowds has really waned. We just barely scratched the surface. There's so much more to see in Munich. As such, I'd be happy to go again.